Southern California. Yeah, there you go. So,
This is Matthew, president of the Miami Chamber Credit Club. We were going to get started in just a few minutes here.
I think some people are at the gathering for the campaign event with Gelberg. Wish they hadn't scheduled it tonight.
There were a lot of Galbert people at the voting today. I was one of the first people early voting today.
Cool. I voted by mail.
Well, I get it by mail, but I like to vote in person, and I'm also a poll worker, so it's kind of like
Cool.
do it.
Yeah, I was the same. Before I moved here, I only voted in person, but now I like doing it on paper, especially when they're like 10 pages long and you have to research everything.
Oh, I know. Well, this one was pretty easy. It's only one page.
Yeah.
What's your background there, Amanda?
Oh, this is my job account. It's FIU.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of the entrances to FIU.
Oh.
It's just I have 3 Zooms. It's just easier to stay logged into one.
I thought it was a pool. It looked like a swimming pool, but it's not. No, I see.
Is Matthew Land not here?
Yeah, he's here. I think he's the Miami Beach Democratic Club. There he is.
Oh.
You're on mute, Matt.
I'm just getting our membership list ready for tonight, and then we'll get started.
yeah, Amanda, I think you may have a point about the gathering being a conflicting event. So we'll see.
Yeah, I wanted to go, but that I would have had to do this on my computer there. So I told Aaron.
I went. I just got back from there.
Cool. How was it?
They had a good turnout. I just
Well,
wanted,
free cocktails and free food. So
Yeah, I would have been tempted had I known about it. I'm not one to turn down free food, let alone free cocktails.
at the gathering.
At the gathering, right?
I missed the gathering.
A win-win-win.
Wait, what event did I miss with the free cocktails and the free food?
So the gathering endorses candidates, and they had their endorsement event thing tonight.
Who'd they endorse?
They endorsed Dan Gelberg, Raquel,
Good.
and who?
Good.
And Mike.
And
Mike B.
Yeah.
Who?
Michael B. Mike B.
Mike Barronell for district or for seat number 3.
Yeah, got it. Good. Go gathering. You did the right thing.
well, just as a disclaimer, that was the gathering's endorsement,
Not ours.
not ours. Okay.
Yeah,
We're not
the
the club.
gather.
Gathering's in mine.
Stefan and Alex, they do it every year or every election, which I think is awesome. I think more local organizations should get involved.
I agree. Mostly they are very hesitant to do so.
Yeah.
Afraid of offending somebody.
So you needed to be on the Gatherings mailing list, I'm guessing?
Or one of the campaigns.
Yeah, I don't think they sent anything out because I am on their mailing list. So I bet it was up to the candidates to promote it. I'm assuming, but I didn't get anything. I only found out because Aaron told me.
Well, I've gotten things from Mike B via text, as a matter of fact, and so, but I didn't get anything about this.
Yeah, I found out last night. Aaron told me. I saw Bill yesterday. I saw Aaron. I saw Stephanie.
Your mother's already back and she's left?
Yeah, and she says it's freezing. She had to turn the heat on, and
Oh.
she misses us in Miami Beach.
Where did she have
I
to
heard
turn
it
the
was gonna
heat
be
on?
cold upstate, colder.
New York. Yeah,
Oh,
Poughkeepsie.
yeah. Well, even in Atlanta, my partner is up in Atlanta visiting his mother, and she said she had to turn the heat up.
Yeah, I heard a cold front's coming or is on the East Coast.
It was cooler here today than it was yesterday, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Certainly
my
less
mom
humid.
had, yeah, my mom had perfect weather. It was great. Like we went to the Colony Theater on Saturday for the free play, a special day. So that was really nice. You have to wear masks. So it felt safe and it was really nice.
I saw that
All right,
last
folks.
weekend. I saw that last weekend.
What did
All right,
you
everybody.
think?
Hey,
Oh.
all right, we're gonna go get started. Okay, I thank you guys all. I appreciate you guys for communicating with each other while I was trying to get everything ready. My other computers have some issues. Amanda, I just sent you the membership list. So please do let us know when we make quorum because we do have a couple of items on our agenda this evening that do require us to have a quorum. Again, all right, everybody, my name is Matthew Land. I'm the president of Miami Beach Democratic Club. I'm gonna put everybody on mute for now. Please feel free to use the raise my hand feature, physically raise your hand. If you're dialing in by phone, which I don't think anybody is, you can dial, I think it's *67, I believe is the number, *6, but I can find it if anybody needs it though, to make sure you can take yourself off mute. At 7:08 p.m., we will call this meeting to order. I have put into the chat the October agenda as well as the minutes from our September meeting. So without further ado, we're going to do things slightly out of order because we have one of our fantastic Miami Beach City Commissioner or County Commissioner, County Commissioner Sally Heyman, District 4. And I know Sally is an extremely busy woman. We thank you for giving us of your time this evening, Commissioner. If you'd like to go ahead and address us, would you like to go and do that now? Perfect,
Yes.
Commissioner. I'm going to open up the floor to you. Feel free, talk for a few minutes. Let us know what's going on in Miami-Dade County, things that Miami-Dade and Miami Beach Democratic Club members need to know about. This is what we want to hear from you about tonight. So, floor is yours.
Thank you. Can you all hear me? Finger up, not a thumb up. A thumb up, I meant. There you go. Okay, good. Okay. Thank you, Matt and David. Thank you for facilitating this. I just got the notice and it says, we want to hear what's going on in the county and any major issues going on in the district or Democratic politics. I'd rather speak to the latter since it's like, I'm a singer in this band also, but that's some real concerns. But let me address the first. One is the competition, reapportionment. There's a meeting going on as I speak, and I've been very engaged, but I already called in and said I couldn't do it. I had root canal this morning, but this was a priority because you're the only club in my area, Democratic club, that's still engaged, and the median age is under 70 something. Which says a lot for Miami Beach, because I came when you were just organizing years ago, and I was very excited about the diversity. And I'm sort of disappointed because this was, I grew up in this bastion in Northeast State when we had so many different Democratic clubs and they all linked together, but they had meetings on different nights so everyone could get together. And we drew the presidential candidates in the old days of Annie Ackerman and Ginger Grossman and those incredible people. working with Bill Lehman, who would come when he was not up in Washington, D.C. in Congress, and Claude Pepper and Dante Fascell. And, you know, it was like, what happened? And so I'd like to speak to that, but I can touch real quick on a couple things that are going on big in the county. Right now, I'm focused on, but I don't think the rest of the commission, maybe Eileen Higgins and one other person, is focused on the reapportionment. That's big. My seat is clearly a Democratic seat. My seat is clearly the closest we have to an Anglo seat, and it's still a minority. Other than two areas that are definitely African American, for sure, and then two more that have a good population. Other than Eileen Higgins and I, that's it for Anglo, and solid Democrats, along with a new colleague, Cone Higgins. And I find that troubling. You know, you can say, well, we have some African American colleagues that are Democrats, but you know, the county runs nonpartisan, but our ideologies, subliminal messaging and overt messaging, but our issues of policy and people, concerns, accessibility, focusing not on partisanship, but on coalitions that will get what we want from our ideologies. And you know something, I'm not seeing it with Republicans. They got a mantra, they are organized, and you know, I'm concerned even if it gets to declare your party on that and people start voting, because they have such a better energy when it comes to influencing people, that the message is theirs. They are lock stock, even if people are not messaging properly with who's representing them and what they're delivering. I'm trying to say it nicely because I don't know who the other 27 on the screen are or not. Let me just tell you, I grew up in a Democratic household because that's who we are. We were blue collar. My mother was a teacher. We grew up make something better. It was easy with charity, volunteering, because we were so blue collar that it wasn't coming from the money. But the thing is it was always give back, always get involved, and encouraged to be in public service. You know, I'm the first one to hold office, but the thing is, and I'm the youngest, but the thing is it was always about give back in your school and do these candy sales and volunteer for this and everything. You make something better, you get involved. And that's who we were. And that is the democratic principles I grew up on. What is really disenfranchising is I saw it when I was in the legislature. And ironically, the only one who ever was great at messaging when I was in the House of Representatives was Dan Gelber, who served when I served. I don't know what it is. Maybe he inherited it because his father was very good at messages too, on the bench especially. But he was great at messaging the democratic ideologies. And then he put people on the board to say, what, you're against equal access to healthcare, when he wanted to, say subsidize, and they're saying big government and something, he would turn it around and make them go on record saying this is what the outcome is. Maybe you're blinded to seeing it. But anyways, he was great about that. But, I'm having great difficulties. I've had it for a while where the things that I feel so strongly about really are a majority position. But we seem to keep finding myself in the minority when it comes to state politics. This COVID thing makes me absolutely nuts. Why the hell we even starting in our own area? And I've asked some of the cruise owners, and quietly they'll say, hey, Sally, I'm right with you. I was so proud of Frank from NCL for taking on the governor's stupid policy when he did nothing to bail us out of $1 billion loss last year. And I'm thinking, well, where the hell is RCL? and Virgin and MSC and all the rest of them to start making donations to the Democratic Party? Where are they to start telling their employees the governor's the one who's threatening us and discouraging people in the hospitality business or patrons from getting full out back on? Throw a mask on for 3 weeks, shut this baby down, and open it back up. Where's the cruise ship lines? Where's hospitality? Where's our school teachers and everybody else that has to see that the standards are being lowered because the requirements of kids to engage and socialize and be in a learning environment with better discipline are being disrupted? And all my friends in healthcare, all the ones that are working double shifts because they're booked solid for the longest time. We're on a downslope now, but where are those industries? The hotelers. When I had to hear when I was out west, wearing a mask all the time because it was required, because that's what you do because you care about your health and the health of others. Where were all these people to speak up? And I'm hearing the news say people are being discouraged from coming back to Florida because they're being under siege by a governor who thinks, the virus is a fluke. I'm sorry. I feel strongly if all the people who have lost loved ones, and I've been blessed, it's not been any family members, probably because I have so few family members left, but I've lost a couple close friends, but I've lost workers I knew and a lot of county workers and another one yesterday. And, that's shameful. That is really shameful when someone has a political attitude. He needs to be crushed. And our issues are the right ones to do it. Where's the schools and everything else where the mantra is less government, yet this guy is taking his executive office of governor as a dictator's role and rule. And I find it most unfortunate. We need to get people, and I'm sure this club has articulate people. I was enjoying listening to you all chatter before we started. I really can't smile. I have to, it really actually hurts to smile, but I was really happy. I need to get your dates when you come on, and when I can, I'm gonna participate. I'll even pay dues even if I can't make it. But the thing is we need to get the people who've been inconvenienced, financially hurt, suffered because they lost a loved one, to get involved selfishly, if for no other reason. The issues are ours and we fail to embrace them. And the other thing I just want to tell you on a shortcoming, because it looks like you're a bunch of activists, and God knows the median age says after this is over, then you'll probably have dinner. Most of my median age club members up here, after they're in their second stage of sleep because it's after 7. They've already digested dinner for 2 hours. So, but it's fun and they're solid, but they're not engaged like they can. There's one Democratic club that isn't meeting at all because they're so vulnerable to the virus, and that's over in Surfside. But their median age is in the late 70s now, and that's shameful. And the other one, they're not meeting at all because they couldn't get a place to facilitate them where there was enough members that would justify they maybe stay and eat appetizer or something in the side room in a restaurant. It wasn't worth it to open up the restaurant side room. The one thing that we failed to do, and this is on you all because you got a great election that's localized right now in Miami Beach, not just on candidates, but I think the 2 a.m. issue is on for a straw ballot, and something else is embrace the people who are at the polls. And especially encourage them to make sure they're going to keep voting. And without asking them their party, you can sort of guess on most of them, ask them if they want to be engaged on voter registration because the lines are too short, on campaigns because there's some good ones coming up, and on our issues they can get behind. I can tell you another county issue real quick was the Rickenbacker issue. And you know something? For a fluke, they threw on the Venetian. Why? Because it happens to be a toll road also for the county. Who the hell cares? You know, they didn't engage the population. So I let it be known that I was pissed off. And 3 homeowners groups for the Venetians came out of the woodwork and said, yeah, we were too. But none of them reached out to me before I said I was pissed that the Venetian was included. And no one told me, and I represent the beach side of the Venetian. Well, they were all engaged with each other. They came out of the woodwork. We got Miami Beach, Mickey Steinberg and Dan Gelber to touch all my other colleagues because I couldn't because of sunshine, and let them know the Venetians got to come off. You know, that was something. And I said, we have 3 enraged homeowners groups. And whenever you say a group, no one knows if it's a group of 3 or a group of how many. And I said, and there's one in Miami, but I don't know what the hell's going on with them. It's my other colleagues. And I said, you know something? No transparency, no engagement, no dialogue, and no respect for them. I'm going to ask that you remove it. And if you feel like you want to get behind the ideology of transparency and inclusiveness and listening to the people it's going to affect, then you'll vote for it. We got a unanimous vote, and I guarantee you at least half my colleagues never even drove over the Venetian. So if I can get it, you know, with people who don't have a dog in the fight, but probably have lobbyists for the Rickenbacker project that are donating to their next campaign, then we can get off our ass as a bunch of people who care about our community, who are correct on the issues of climate change. I am tired of buying more sand because the heated waters are eroding our shorelines. I am tired of challenging healthcare services because of someone's ideologies, whether they should be insured or not. You know, it's amazing the pendulum swing, and that we got this guy in the governor's office who, if you look at all the different issues, he's probably aggravated a populace in every one of the groups, probably to the same level as the former president did, alienating every group. But when it came to getting the voters engaged, the Republicans did much better. They messaged and aligned themselves with misinformation instead of the issues that go to it. The one last thing I want to say, and then I'd like to, if I have time, hear if you have any issues you'd like me to.
Yes, absolutely, Commissioner. Yeah, if you want to, we can take questions now, or if you've got one other issue you wanted to bring up, please feel free to.
One other issue is I am turned out in a year. I got a hell of a lot of things I could have finished up with, but for COVID. But I want to bring them past the point of no return. The new courthouse and making sure we respect and save the old courthouse for something worthy downtown. But the rail with the stop at the Aventura Ogis, that's supposed to be open for service in November, and a couple other things. But the other thing is I do want to tell you, I am champion Mickey Steinberg to be my successor for a couple reasons, but most especially, I feel like the community that I've represented all these years, from city council to state representative, now to county commission, it's been over 3 decades. That's my community family. I asked them to call me Sally. In the old days, I used to say my phone numbers, my home phone numbers in the phone book, but no one gets them anymore. But the thing is I want them to get in touch with government, not just when there's a problem of desperation and dissatisfaction, but engagement and inclusiveness and respect. And Mickey served on 2 things. She's still on one at the county representing Miami Beach. And she keeps showing up, which is amazing considering half my colleagues don't, to make a quorum. But whenever she's invited to go to different groups and charities, she's engaged with it, to support them. So I want accessibility. I want accountability by being there to vote. And I want most especially the respect that the constituents I've come to love in serving them, but working with them and getting great, energies and ideas from them to be included in future. And she also wants to keep all my staff so there'll be great continuity, because I think I have the best staff there is. But anyways, so I just want to let you know I already started counting down 309. Oh, it'll make me smile. 396 days till I'm going to be done in politics, but not public service.
Well, we appreciate all of
gonna
your
be
service, Commissioner.
very engaged in the state race. I'm working for Val Demings because that's an easy one versus Marco Rubio. But I have already picked my champion to go after for the best chance to beat Governor. The governor. I have a nickname for him. I had to rethink what his last name is, but I'm not going to share it. I've already but tell me what, other than you all going out to vote and encouraging other people to vote if you're eligible in Miami Beach and you early voted, tell me what else is out there.
Yeah, so we are obviously engaging in voter registration. We're making calls to Democrats across Miami Beach to make sure they're enrolled and vote by mail, or re-enrolled if they fell off the voter rolls and things like that. So we are pretty very, very engaged. But we'd love to take a couple of questions. Jeff, you've got a question for Commissioner Heyman? Go ahead and unmute yourself. Oh, there you go.
Hi, Commissioner. This is Jeff Donnelly. My question won't surprise you. How did libraries do this year in the county budget?
How did what?
Libraries.
Libraries?
Yeah, we have 3 libraries in the city of Miami Beach, but they're all funded, as you know, by the county with that separate tax.
Yes, they did great. I got to tell you, all the regular services, the essential services got at least where they were, but because between the CARES Act, the ARP, and stuff like that, and other issues with money coming in or lack of money being used because we chilled services this past year, they did good. We also have a new library going up in 3 places or being retroed. So they did really good. And thanks for asking, because I never think parks, recreation, and libraries were the low-hanging fruits, easy to cut. I always thought they defined us as a community.
Thank you.
Sherry, go ahead. I'll recognize you.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, Commissioner, before those 390 days run out, I wanted to take advantage of your experience and ask you something that's really bothering me as a lifelong Democrat is, you're right, the majority of people support the basic tenets of the Democratic Party, and yet the Republicans have kicked our butt on messaging for a long time now. And I'm wondering what you think can be done to change that scenario, because it's really disturbing, to say the least.
Well, I believe if you're going to take the title, in my case, I only get paid $6,000 a year, so you can't quite say and take the money, but you do things in public service. And if you're in the game, then start playing. Okay. One thing we can start with is our Florida. And I gave him a big chunk of money because I was happy he was displacing the person who was his predecessor. Manny Diaz did a good job in Miami. And he said he was going to fix the party by taking it over. get rid of the deficit, and just champion issues. He hasn't done shit, and I've told him that. Well, because I wrote a check to him, I figured I could, but I know him. You know, you're a good party of people, and you're a good club. Start telling him to do his damn job, and if he can't message it, and I'm tired of hearing, well, he makes statements, but it doesn't get coverage. You make a good statement, and you say it enough, people are going to hear it. And if it's catchy, they'll really listen and want to share it with somebody else. For God's sakes, if that ain't the message Trump left us with, it doesn't even have to be the truth, for goodness sakes. We have the truth. We need to message it. It's time that Florida quit being synonymous with a killer state. We lost that image with the cocaine cowboys in the early 80s. It's time we went back to being hospitable as a hospitality and tourism state, instead of holding people hostage for fear of quarantining after their exposure. It's time less government applied to the governor's office when he dictates what private people and businesses should do, and right on down the line. And make your statement and copy others. And, you know, if you're aligned with any group, put the group's name down, make them panic. Because right now, the only thing he's out doing is running around the country with his ideologies and getting right-wing nut jobs, giving him money. He is raising money to buy his next position. Well, make him pay severely for how he screwed it up the first time. Go get him, Sherry.
All right,
Thanks, I agree with
Commissioner.
everything you said.
All right, Commissioners, thank you so very much. We appreciate your time. I think everybody knows how to get a hold of you. Yes.
I know you got a meeting and I'm going back to bed, but listen, keep an eye on reapportionment. Higgins is really trying to keep.
Oh, you just cut out there, Commissioner. Sal, are you still with us? I think she froze.
Of the county, tell them to keep an eye on it. Okay.
Okay.
Our African-American colleagues, they're Democrats, but they're not engaged like they need to be. And I'm a phone call away. I'll give you my cell number, but you can't call me today, and I have a commission meeting tomorrow. But it's 786-299-7645. If you got something, if you think something needs to be done or whatever, or you can call, you're gonna like this. You can call David, and Lucia, his great wife on the school board, will reach out to me. But stay involved, and thank you so much. It's so nice to see nice looking Democrats all up and awake at 7:30 at the evening.
We appreciate you, Commissioner. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm gonna listen for a little bit, okay?
Oh, perfect. Awesome. Sounds great. Okay. Well, we are going to get into. Perfect. Well, we are going to get started with our business this evening. It is October 18th. Happy first day of early voting, everybody. If you did not know, early voting in the city of Miami Beach started today. The polls are open from 7 a.m. till 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 to 4 Saturday, Sunday. And then next week, they're open from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. and then 8 to 4 Saturday and Sunday again. And then November the 2nd is the actual election date. So make sure you are talking to your neighbors, especially if you live in buildings. Remind them to get out there and vote. These city elections, I know, Commissioner Heyman, they can attest to this so much, just like Shirley did, is these local elections are so vitally important because they help not only build a bench of Democrats to run for higher office, but these are the people that are making the decisions at a very local level. As we mentioned before the start of the meeting, the Miami Beach Democratic Club has not made any endorsements. We are barred from making endorsements when there's more than one Democrat running in a specific seat, even though these are nonpartisan seats at this local level. Because there's multiple Democrats running in these seats, we cannot make endorsements. If the runoff, if everybody goes to runoffs, if each one of these races up for election goes to a runoff, and there is only one Democrat left in that race, we can then determine as our board if we're going to make an endorsement in that race. What we have provided for you, and I'm sure that Steve at some point in time will put this in the chat, we have prepared a fantastic Miami Beach Democratic voter guide with information on where to go vote. City Hall, next to the convention center is open for early voting in those hours that I mentioned before. There's also North Shore Branch Library. If you have a vote by mail ballot, you can return it in person. You can return it in the mail. You can go vote in person. However you want to go vote, we just encourage everybody to go vote. Remind your friends and your family to go vote as well. And then lastly, as part of our, during this month, and I'm sure David will talk about this a little bit more as well in his report, we did do a Democratic candidate forum where we presented all of the Democratic candidates running for mayor, Group 1 and Group 3. And then we had a series of questions for them, and it was a fantastic event. If you missed it and you still don't know about the candidates they're running, you want to hear from your Democrats, it is on our YouTube channel and it's constantly pushed out on our social media, as well as part of our Democratic voting guide. So make sure you check all of that out. That is my report for everybody this evening. We will, are there any questions that anybody has about early voting? Anything that's going on? Okay. If not, you can always feel free to throw them in the chat too. We will go ahead and go into the approval of the minutes from September. I dropped those in the chat. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from September? Motion by Sherry Rubin, seconded by David Geller. Is there any discussion on our minutes from September? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of approving the minutes from September, please say aye or raise your hand. All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion passes unanimously and our minutes are approved from September. All right, Amanda, do you want to give us a vice president's report / outreach report, please?
Sure. Yes. So we have some upcoming events. This Sunday at the Antique Market on Lincoln Road, we'll be doing our annual outreach. Tim will be helping, Janet. Anybody else who wants to volunteer, you can just text me or email me. It's this Sunday, 11 to 2 p.m. Sometimes people take like an hour shift, but we're just out there with our banners and just, you know, getting the Democrats' name out there. The club, we also have voter reg forms and vote by mail. So a lot of times it's tourists, but at least we get our name out there and a presence in the community. So again, that's this Sunday. We're also starting our annual food drive for the Miami Beach Community Church. This will be our 4th year. Last year we raised almost $400. So this year we want to try to raise $500. Steve will be putting that link up tomorrow. You don't donate food, you just donate monetary money, and then I'll go and buy all the food and bring it to the church. So that's starting tomorrow and running through mid-November so we can get it in time for Thanksgiving. But I told the church that we're doing this and they thanked us so much for always thinking about them in the community. They have a food drive all year. Every Sunday they give food to local families. So we're really, really helping the community. So that please donate whatever, $5, $10. That link will be up tomorrow. And then I'm very excited. We're going to have a social event on November 13th. It's going to be called the Victory Paw Hour in Miami, South Beach Park. I'm still working with the Miami Beach government to secure a park. But I believe it's either going to be the Flamingo or the Belle Island. And Victory Paw Hour, it's the weekend after the election. So hopefully we don't have a runoff. We probably will. But if we're just going to invite all the Democrat candidates, the Democrat elected officials, meet in the park, bring our dogs, have some drinks and light food, and just really talk about Miami Beach and the election and, you know, how we can get involved. So please bring your pups, and they have to be on leashes. And yeah, so that's November 13th, 4 p.m. to 6, Victory Paw Hour. We'll be posting that this week. So I hope you guys can all come and we can have our dogs meet the elected officials.
All right. Thank you so much, Amanda. We appreciate that. And like Amanda said, look forward to details coming on our socials and through email as well. Janet, do you have a secretary's report for us, please?
Yeah, sorry, just had to get myself off mute. The only report I have to say is that we have 102 members, which is holding pretty steady, I think, from last month. And there's, I think, 8 people that are expiring in October. You should have gotten an email from me today saying, please renew your membership. So hopefully if you're on this call and you got the email and you're hearing me now, you will. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Janet. Appreciate it. Patrick, Patrick, are you on? Do you have a presence or treasurer's report? I'm sorry. There you are.
Here I am. Yes, so just a quick update. We have $6,938. The expenses for the month to date were some of the final payments for all of our Pride expenses. The total expenses were $570, but all of the Pride expenses were covered by donations in the prior month. Then we also had the storage rental cost, which is recurring in Zoom for now. And we had $86 in renewals come through too. So.
Thank you so much, Patrick. All right, we will move into committee reports. David Geller, campaign committee report, please.
Yes, good evening, everybody. I first want to thank Commissioner Sally Hayman. I absolutely loved your report telling us what's going on in the county, but I really loved what you had to say about the party, the direction of the party, and what we all really need to be doing and the message we need to be sending. I think that's a message we really needed to hear too. So thank you so much, Commissioner, and thank you for joining us. What can I say? You know, we have our elections, early voting. Matt told you about the locations and times. So please make sure you're out there. I believe the first week is in early voting ends at 3 p.m. And then I believe the second week it's till 7 p.m. I hope I'm correct on that. But North Shore Library and City Hall. And just think soon after Election Day, we'll stop getting so many wonderful mailers. What a great industry that was. And the other thing I want to say is, as you all probably have seen, we have another candidate, Democratic candidate for governor in the race. Senator Annette Taddeo, our Miami-Dade County's own senator, state senator, has announced. And I know she'd like to come join us at one of our upcoming meetings. I believe we've had the other candidates already speak, so we'll work on that. And another thing, this weekend, I also got another sunburn. I'd like to tell you all about this. I went out and saw Tim and Steve at the Normandy pumpkin patch, and that was awesome. They're registering voters, so thank you all. It was just great to be out there. And I believe that's the end of my report. So thank you all.
Thank you so much, David. Appreciate it. Next up, we will have, sorry, as I get back to my agenda here. Steve, do you want to give us a communications update, please?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Over the last month, our communications is focused largely around the upcoming Miami Beach elections, trying to drive up the turnout, getting more Democrats simply to vote, build that muscle for voting. Hey, if you vote in this election, it's much more likely you're going to vote in 2022. So talk it up, talk to your friends, your neighbors, and let's try and get a big turnout for this local election. Our emails are doing pretty well. We had about a 17% open rate on 3,800 emails sent, which means about 660 people are at least opening the emails we send. That's good. We have 4 new blog posts on our website, including 2 which Matt mentioned, and I'm going to post the link to those 2 blog posts. Again, one is our Democratic voting guide. It's got all that information, when early voting is, when can you early vote, what are the dates and times and the places. And also we have we've written up a recap of the forum that we put on. We had all the Democratic candidates that are running for local office. It's got all their contact information, and if you want to learn more about them, there's a link to the replay to the forum itself on YouTube. So I'm going to post all those things into the chat. After that, I'm going to post all of our contact information, our club, our website, email, and all of our social media handles. And we would love it if you would engage with us on social media and contact us in any way that you want to and that you're comfortable with. And that's my report.
Thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate it. I know a lot of times folks have questions about things that we're doing, what we're getting involved in. Make sure you subscribe to our email list. You can do it on our website, miamibeachdems.org. Like us on Facebook, like us on Twitter, like us on Instagram, because we're reposting a lot of those same things all over the place. And so that is where we are distributing our information to you at. So if you're wanting to know what we're up to, it's in our emails and it's all over our social media. So check us out. Hopefully you do one or the other, but please do subscribe to us and follow us, okay? All right, next up, we're gonna hear from Bill Warren, our program chair, please.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. It's good to see everybody here this evening. My report is very short. We're still working on this video with Stephanie Rios, who is a marketing person on the committee. And we did pivot a little bit from what we had originally planned to do as far as the video. And I won't get into the details of it, but hopefully we'll have a draft of it in the next couple of weeks. But it is a project that I think is more around the topic of getting out the vote and encouraging Democrats to get to the poll. Because we feel that if we get the Democrats to the poll, we can win these races. The problem is people will not go to the poll. I think I read something recently that only 10% of the people on Miami Beach goes to the poll to vote. Out of 90,000 people, we're talking 10,000 people deciding these elections. And that's just not, we should be doing better than that. So we're going to center our communication and our project on encouraging people to get out to vote. So that's going to be the focus of our video. But hopefully we have more information to share with you on it very soon. Again, if anybody's interested in joining this committee, I'm going to put my contact information in the chat. Please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill. We appreciate it. Last but not least, Sammy Jimenez, do you have a voter registration chair update for us?
Yes, sir. I am going to do what I was told because basically I need help. And Commissioner Sally, is it Hyman or Hamans? Commissioner Sally, I'll be calling you, please, ma'am, for help. And I monitor the Tuesday calls every week, and I see some of you who call, go in, but I need to ask everybody individually. Valerie, Tim, Stephen, Sherry, Robert, Patrick, Olivia, Michelle, Marcia, Joyce, Joseph, John, Jeff, both Jeffs, Janet, JK, David, Bradley, Blake, Ben, Ariel, and everybody else. If you know someone, please tell them. We need an actual committee to help generate ideas. I am asking for help because, as I told y'all from the beginning, I am on fire for this situation, and it is a personal agenda, as I stated, but I need help. I'm new to this group, and I'm learning the culture of how we operate and do things, but I need help. So if you know someone who they're not doing anything or having extra time, have them please email me and say, hey, I have some ideas. I want to help. I want to get this voter registration committee more so going forward, especially with Bill, Tim and Stephen doing a lot of the footwork, but I'm doing what I can, but I need help. So that's that, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. Just to quickly mention, the Miami-Dade DEC is holding a voter registration training on Wednesday evening. It doesn't mean you have to immediately start doing voter registrations, but if you want to brush up or if you've never done a voter registration before, it's a great opportunity. It's about an hour to an hour and a half long, depending on how many questions folks have. And then also, like Amanda and Tanarami have said, and I think Bill has probably also said, I think everyone said it here, we are at the Normandy Fountain on Sundays. We are also at the Lincoln Road Antique Market on some of the Sundays as well. Try to hit at both North Beach and South Beach, making folks aware that we are the Miami Beach Democratic Club and also registering voters. So I'm going to pop some of those things into the chat for you. The registration for the DC training, we are phone banking every Tuesday. I think that will likely end at the end of this month. And then we will probably transition to do some text banking for voter registration enrollment and things like that. But with that, we are going to move into just a very, hopefully quick new business, and then we will get to the remainder of our guest speakers. As we have advertised and been talking about for several months, We are having a board of directors number 2 special election this evening to fill out the remainder of the term that from Janice Good, who resigned several months ago. We had one announced candidate. This is a term that will be having to run for re-election in March, along with the remainder of the president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and the parliamentarian all have to run for election or re-election again in March. And then how our elections work is that in the even years, per our bylaws, those even board of director seats number 2 and 4 are up for election, and in the odd years 1 and 3 up for election or re-election. So we had one announced candidate, Steve Hawes, our fearless communications co-chair. But we do want to make sure that we open up the floor to anybody else. You must have been a dues paying member to be able to vote in the election. We have reached quorum for this meeting, so the election is timely and it is being able to be held. So I just wanted to open up the floor. Is there any other nominations for board of directors number 2 seat to fill out the remainder of the term of the special election? Hearing none, nominations are closed. And Steve Hawes, you are elected unanimously as board of directors seat number 2. Welcome to the board. You've long had a voice. Now you will also have a vote on the board. Thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
Congratulations, Steve.
All right, next up, we have
Yay!
very excited, very happy to have you join the board officially. Next up, we have just a few bylaws changes. I think sometimes during the pandemic, we certainly learned that some of our bylaws might have been a little bit inflexible for us as far as meeting goes. Jeff Stogler, are you still on the line? I hope you are.
Hello.
Yes, you are. Perfect. Jeff, if it's helpful, I'm happy to share my screen and just put up the bylaws changes. Do you want me to do that? Yes or no?
Yeah, please. I was actually going to do that, but it says that
well,
I'm disabled to do it. So go for it.
I don't know how to enable. I don't think actually. So give me a second and let me figure out how to share my screen. Let's see here. I think this should do it. Okay. These were previously emailed out to everybody. These are the actual changes these are not the actual physical changes themselves, but this is a breakdown of the changes that we will be approving this evening. So I'm going to have Jeff go through them one by one and just give us a little update on each one of these changes that the board has already approved, but we are approving them as the general body this evening. Jeff, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah. So there's 5 I'd call maybe major changes, but really they're not all that grand, but let's just go through these one by one. So the first one, the bylaws for voting, the absentee and proxy. This one is kind of a major change of sorts. So the board did recommend that this would allow members to vote by mail. We've taken the wording exactly as from the Democratic Executive Committee and whatnot. So no real big changes in terms of having to create anything new when it comes to Robert's Rules of Orders, etc. But it would allow for members to vote by mail if they would choose to, if they're not able to actually attend a meeting and there's something that they would like to participate in. The next one is allowing email approval by items by the board of directors. This was we did kind of want to have this in place. The main reason for this one is, let's say there's something that needs quick action on, but it comes in times between two, in a time when maybe a board of directors meeting is not scheduled for a couple weeks. So any of the board of directors can say they would like to have this be voted by mail. Someone will second it, and then we'll just do a very simple sending out what it is and get people's approval to have it either accepted or denied by email. I think I was also saying mail there for a second, by email. Third one, special elections for board of directors members. It just kind of clarified, just updated section 1, defines what special elections are, a little bit more detail, nothing too intense about, like we're having this special election today. Nominating committee, no real major changes for this one. It removed a section. It kind of made it more aligned with some other Robert's Rules of Orders. And the last one, endorsements of candidates running for board of directors by current board of directors, just clarified how they can do it. And just got to move my chat there for a second so I can see what it says. Yeah, so this just clarifies how current board of director members can endorse for our club elections, and just some small little technical things there, just to make it more clear and overall fair. So that kind of gives the overall summary of the board of law, of the bylaw changes.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Are there any questions about that? Like Jeff said, we've sent this out previously. We sent out the updated bylaws with everything highlighted in yellow, so you can see the clear distinctions, other than just very technical and grammatical changes that may have been made throughout to just clean up that small errors throughout our bylaws. Any questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve the bylaws amendments. Motion made by Amanda, seconded by David Geller. Is there any further discussion on our bylaws amendments changes? Okay, all those in favor of approving the bylaws changes, say aye. Raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the bylaws amendments have been approved unanimously. Thank you all so very much. We will be, like you can see on our website, you can see our old bylaws. You can see what will now be our newer old bylaws, and you'll be able to see our newest current bylaws that we'll be operating under. We appreciate everyone for sticking around for this. It's not fun to do some of the actual business that we have to do of the club, but we do have to do it when we have a quorum. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We really appreciate you all being here. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our other guest speakers. Amanda, do you want to introduce Deborah Billings for us, please? Quick introduction.
So Deborah has been kind enough to speak to us about Christy House, and she will tell you about it.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Amanda, thank you so much for the invite. I really appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. My name is Deborah Billings, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Director of Prevention and Education for Christy House. How many of you are familiar with Christy House? Okay, if I can just see a show of hands. All right, so some yes, some no. So we are the Children's Advocacy Center of Miami-Dade County. We are an accredited advocacy center. We were founded in 1994, and we form part of a multidisciplinary team. We have six, and including ourselves, are 7 members. But really, we are dedicated to healing and eradicating child abuse and child sex trafficking here in Miami-Dade County. And so we work globally, or actually nationwide and globally, to eradicate sex trafficking and child abuse. And we also work locally with other agencies. And so for the first 25 years, we worked specifically with children who had been victims of sexual abuse. In 2007, we began to receive questions about the issue of child sex trafficking. And we founded the first in Miami-Dade drop-in center for girls who are survivors of sex trafficking. It's also known as Project Gold, which is girls owning their lives and dreams. We have one in Little Haiti, and we have another that we were lucky enough to open in Homestead this year. And so we offer services to the children who have been victimized of sexual abuse and the non-offending parents. Also for children who have been victims of physical abuse, most recently as well, unaccompanied documented children with a culturally modified form of TFCBT. And I'm just going to let you all, because I can talk forever, so I'm going to let you all ask me some questions about it. Just, please know that we offer all of our services are free of charge. This past year, we reached a new threshold, serving at least 1,900 families here in Miami-Dade County. We offer family advocates that work closely with the children and the families. We also have wraparound services. And my team, what we do is we do the prevention and education. There's a very small sliver of grants that go, of money funding that goes to prevention. Most of it goes to the therapy, which is great. But if we can get out into the community and welcome individuals to have these difficult conversations about these topics, we can create awareness and we can stop the abuse from happening in the first place. So please, any questions that you have, I'll stop talking.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Listen, we appreciate all the services that Christy's House is doing throughout Miami-Dade County. We appreciate you being here to shed some light on the great work that you are doing as well. Do folks have some questions for Ms. Billings? Sherry, go for it.
You might.
I don't want to go. I don't need to go first. Does the other person want to go? Okay. Yeah, it's pretty quick. I just am wondering what systems, if any, you have in place to communicate with the Miami-Dade County Public Schools.
I work very closely with the Miami-Dade County Public Schools. We have been lucky enough to have an affiliated agreement with the district, and this allows us to teach safety and prevention within the schools. And so the district has been great. When I find a curriculum that I like, I'm invited to go present, and the school district will vet it, and then they allow me to present in the schools. And so again, the issue really at hand is that we're a small team. Right now we're 4. Of course, we know that Miami-Dade County is the 4th largest school district in the nation. And so we need a lot of folks out there teaching. And so be it Christy House or another agency that can support, we are open.
That's great.
Thank you.
I'm a teacher in the district, and some of those issues have been exacerbated, obviously, by the COVID crisis.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Other questions for Ms. Billings? Amanda, did you have something you were going to throw out there?
Yeah, I put in the link, the get involved link, but is there like specific things us as a club or individuals can do to help?
Sure. So that's a great question. So I'm going to invite you all to go to our website, and I can drop it into the chat at christyhouse.org. And then there's a page that says get involved, right? It can't really be much clearer than that. And there are many different ways that you can get involved. You can go to our website and donate right there. If you large financial gifts, small, medium, small financial gifts, which of course, as a nonprofit, we are open and receptive to receive that. So I would just, you can sponsor meals for the girls at Project Gold. You can host a drive. There's an Amazon wish list also. Help us share on social media. If you have a group of adults or a group of youth that you feel would benefit from one of our trainings, go to the website christyhouse.org/education. All of our trainings are free of charge. We can do it virtually. We can do it in person. And especially if you work with anyone who has, is within a child serving organization. I've been in schools, and sometimes they say I've been teaching for 25 years and I've really never had a training on this. So, it's not about I love you or I trust you. It's about becoming trained to support yourself to keep your kids safe. So let me drop that in the chat.
Thank you. Amanda actually already dropped in the chat for you. She's
Okay,
ahead of the
awesome.
game. Yes. Tim, did you have a quick question?
Yeah, just first of all, Deborah, thank you very much for joining us tonight. And thank you for all that you do. But you kind of already answered my question, because I was going to say, what's the easiest way for us to get involved via a donation? And I now see on your website that that's clearly indicated. So hopefully some of us will be able to make that move. And thank you again for joining us.
You're very welcome, Tim. Thank you.
And Deborah, we will make sure that as part of our monthly recap, we'll make sure that we push out that information as well to our membership, and hopefully we can steer some folks your way to get involved with the Christy House.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Absolutely. Any other final questions for Deborah?
Put in the chat, but just to let everyone know, I've been working with their volunteer board and planning to organize a drive for us to do in the beginning of 2022. So keep an eye out for that, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you,
so
Amanda.
much. And Deborah, any last final words you want to leave us with?
Please remember that all adults in the state of Florida are mandated reporters if you suspect, discover, or if a child discloses. 1-800-96-ABUSE.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us this evening. All right, I'm going to leave it to Bill to introduce our next guest speaker, our final guest speaker this evening.
Okay, good deal. I'm back again, y'all. I'm going to introduce Dr. Michelle Powell, DO, MPH, is a board certified orthopedic family physician with over 20 years of experience. In her medical practice, patients most frequently seek Dr. Powell to aid them in addressing hypertension, diabetes, and obesity. However, tonight, in addition to her role as a physician, she, in the last few months, has served the role as patient and physician. Dr. Powell is a recent, because this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So, each month we do try to address an issue that is, presented that month. And since this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Dr. Powell was very public with her treatment, she shared a lot of valuable information on her Facebook and Instagram that I followed along with her during the time from her diagnosis through her treatment. She really was really informative to people to help them understand the process. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to not only a friend, but also a customer, Dr. Michelle Powell. You're muted, Dr. Powell.
Well, Bill, thank you so much for the introduction. And I really appreciate the Democratic Club for allowing me to speak with you this evening. Thank you, Bill, for that introduction. And I've been a physician for 25 years. And one of my patients said to me when I was diagnosed, Dr. Powell, how can you, a doctor, have breast cancer? I said, well, I'm human too. And I bring this message today to say that anyone can get breast cancer. And yes, we do know that the majority of breast cancer occurs in women. There is a very small percentage, 1 in 800 plus, that occurs in men. But more importantly, one of my drivers, I was diagnosed back in February of this year. And I always tell everybody, you know what, on New Year's resolutions, hey, breast cancer is what I want to do for the year, was not one of them. And I realized I had a mass that was growing in my breast. And when I found it and actually went and did an ultrasound, which is one of the tools for diagnosis besides the mammogram, it was already 5 centimeters. Within a week, I went into doing a biopsy. And by the end of that week, it was already found to have been stage 2-3 with metastasis to my right axilla. So very fast, very quickly, first week in March, I got a port in my chest. And if you don't know what a port is, it's just this valve that allows them to stick a needle in me every 3 weeks and give me IV medications, 4 drugs for 8 hours a day. And I did that until July. And then last month, in August, I did a double mastectomy and I was out of the office for 8 weeks. And now I'm starting tomorrow into radiation for the next 2 months. I give you that course because many people hear breast cancer and 2 things happen. Their ears cover and they run in the opposite direction. And a lot of people think, oh my gosh. So what my journey is going to do, and what I hope, is to get people out of the, oh my gosh, this is too scary, or 2, running in the other direction. I want you who are members of this club, and if you know anybody who's over the age of 40 or even thinks something is going on in their breast, to immediately go and do a mammogram. And if they've already done a mammogram, insist that an ultrasound be done. But one thing we don't want to do anymore, especially in 2021, is pretend it doesn't exist. And sometimes it gets so scary that people like, I'll wait. No, it'll go away. If anybody whispers in your ear that they feel that something is a little bit unusual or amiss within their breast, encourage them strongly to get it checked. And you're doing that because early is better than later. An early diagnosis is so much more treatable to cure than a late diagnosis. We are finding that, yes, we're going to cure now. We're not going to death. So there's no reason to run away anymore. So the earlier your family, friends, loved ones can get in there and get their diagnosis and start treatment. And I'm going to be honest, treatment is not fun, but it's doable. It's doable, especially if you're supportive and loving. And if you have a family member, a friend, or someone who's going through it, I'm going to leave you with some words of encouragement that I encourage you to do to support anyone going through this journey. Text them. Don't expect a response, but text them, hey, I'm thinking about you. Hey, you can do this. Don't give up. Be strong. The other thing, if you can even send a card or a letter, go ahead and do it. The words of encouragement really, really helps when you're going through a process that can be painful. Your whole body becomes fatigued. You lose your hair. If you saw my cute little picture when I went to the video stop, I lost my hair after 1 week. My hair was down to my shoulder and it was gone. Eyebrows disappeared in 2 weeks and the eyelashes just haven't even come back. But that's doable. What's not doable is getting to stage 4 and 5 when you've had complete metastasis throughout your body because you've waited, because you were afraid, you were running or worried and didn't know what to do. So Pearls, if you have family member, brother, sister, aunt, cousin, anybody that thinks something's going on, please encourage them to get tested. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but this is happening all year. All the hospitals are doing screenings. So the #1 screening, of course, is just feel your breast. Just feel them. Check them out. The second, get to a center that's doing the screening. The third is take someone with you. Take someone with you so you're not afraid. And it's fear that prevents a lot of people from actually doing the exams of going for the test. And as I found out at the last presentation that I did, a young woman went, did the test, but never went for the results. You got to get the results so that you can act early. Don't be afraid of the results, because the message I want to bring to you, no, it's not comfortable. No, it's not fun, but it's doable. It's 100% doable. Yes, you can get through chemo. Yes, you can get through the surgery. Yes, you can get through radiation. And with loving friends supporting you, it's 100% doable. So take someone, encourage someone to go, and let them know it's doable and not to be afraid. And if anybody would like to ask any questions at this time, I'm wide open. As Bill said, I've been staging and showing the process that I've been going through on Facebook and Instagram just to remove the fear, because we don't need to be afraid anymore of breast cancer. Any
Thank
questions?
you. Dr. Powell, thank you so much for sharing your story with us this evening. I know we also have another, what is that? I think it's 1 in 8 women in their lifetime will have breast cancer. Commissioner Sally Heyman is another breast cancer survivor that we have with us tonight, who is a very, very vocal and passionate advocate for Breast Cancer Awareness Month and cancer awareness in general. If anybody does have any questions for Dr. Powell, please feel free to raise your hand. Sherry, go for it.
I had a little stage 1 breast cancer too a few years ago, and I agree with everything Dr. Powell said, that the treatment was not enjoyable, but you can do it. You can definitely do it. But more to the point, I wanted to mention that at Mount Sinai Comprehensive Cancer Center, where I got my treatment and cure, there's a foundation and you can get a cold cap. My hair in the middle of chemo looked like this.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, literally didn't lose 1 strand, and also didn't pay 1 dime. So there's a foundation called Robin's Rainbow at Mount Sinai Comprehensive Cancer Center, and it makes your chemo a little longer. In other words, you have to get there an hour earlier and you stay an hour and a half later, is what I'm saying, because you wear this hat that freezes your scalp basically, but it works. You don't lose hair. So, and it's for not every single chemo, but almost all of them. it's effective for. So I just did want to put that out there. Yeah, and to also, you know, just let anyone know if anyone has questions or needs support, that I have gone through the chemo and radiation therapy too. I didn't need a tiny outpatient surgery, but that was really nothing. But yeah, like Dr. Powell, I want to be out there to help and encourage anybody. And had I not gone for regular mammograms, they said that based on the location of it, it would have been years before I could feel anything. And I could have been doing breast self-exams every minute of the day, and it would have been years before I could find it. So get those exams and encourage your relatives and loved ones to get their exams on time.
Thank you, Sherry. Any other questions for Dr. Powell? Sally? Question, comment?
I just want to say thank you. Very great presentation. And if anybody would like to join my team on the 23rd at the old Marlin Stadium, which is now Lone Depot or something, you don't even have to streak your hair pink like the rest of my team is doing. But come join us. I'll pledge your money for you.
Thank you, Sally.
Thanks, Scott.
Dr. Powell, question for you. Where can folks find you on social media? If you're documenting your journey, we would love to know, how can people find you?
You can find me at Dr. MC Powell, both on Facebook and on Instagram. And definitely, please, anybody, even if you have questions, you don't have to have breast cancer. You can ask me health-related questions, but more importantly, if you have any questions related to even going in for the test, you know, some people say, oh, just get a mammogram, you know. Okay, let's be real now. First of all, they're not letting anybody in with partners and friends into mammograms, okay? They can go with you, but they're going to be staying in the car or staying outside. Be prepared that they're going to use a plastic device that's going to, I used to call it the cinder block test, where they take 2 cinder blocks and they squash your breast with them, you know? And so I always tell people, take 2 Tylenols before you go in. It's not going to affect the test in any way, you know? And for me, I usually didn't feel sensitivity, but if you have very sensitive breasts, prepared. It's going to take half an hour and you are going to be sensitive, but the results are give you the peace of mind that you need once you leave. And for goodness sake, please, please, please follow up with your results. Do not wait for your doctor to call you for your results. Hound them for your results. Call the breast centers that you go to, and most of them do give your results to you, and make them give you your results. You're entitled to those results. And once again, it's Dr. MC Powell on Instagram and on Facebook. I speak on breast cancer as well as many other healthcare issues, and I've been very thankful to be able to present tonight. And I encourage everyone to share.
I dropped in the chat Dr. Powell's telephone number and her email address. It's in the chat if anybody's looking for it, okay?
Thank you, Bill. And we'll make sure we push out your social media handles as well in our meeting recap. Dr. Powell, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it. I want to give just one quick minute to Stephen Cohen, the only candidate that I can see that is on here. Stephen, you want to give us a quick minute update on the campaign and say hello?
Okay, I just wanted to tell everybody that the campaign, you know, everyone started voting. And just so everyone knows, 20% of the Miami Beach does vote, not 10%, it's 20%. It's 10,000 voters. And as of today, 1,974 people have voted. So there's 48,000 people that can vote. So let's try to make sure we can get everyone out to vote, especially in the condos, as Matthew alluded to. It's very hard for us to canvass in the condos. So just tell everyone to vote, and I'll be at City Hall every day from 7 a.m. till 3 p.m. and then next week until 7 p.m. So please tell everyone to vote. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen. We appreciate it. All right. Is there any new business this evening? We've already taken care of the Board of Directors number 2 election, the bylaws amendment approval. Any other new business that anybody has they'd like to bring to the floor?
Before you go to that, please, sir.
Yes.
Excuse me, I'm driving, so please, can someone put my email in so they can contact if they know someone who would like to join, please?
We will absolutely do that, Tanarami. We'll make sure we get that done before it's over. The only other things that I just want to recap for everybody, I dropped them all in the chat for you as well. Again, this Wednesday at 6 p.m., the Miami-Dade Democratic Executive Committee is holding a voter registration training. If you've never trained on voter registration, you want to get refreshed. It is an extremely informative training. I've done it. Tanarami has done it. I think Steve and Bill have also done it. I think a bunch of us have done it on here. So please make sure that you do that if you'd like to learn more and learn how to register voters. Every Tuesday from 5 to 8 p.m. we're doing vote by mail enrollment and re-enrollment. The link to sign up for that is in the chat. And then again on Sundays, we're doing Lincoln Road Antique Market, as well as the Normandy Fountain. There are select Sundays when they are happening, and there's even more select Sundays when we are attending them. The other thing that I wanted to just mention really quickly is our December meeting date has been changed to Monday, December the 13th, from Monday, December the 20th, to accommodate anybody who might be traveling for the holidays. Our board thought that might be a little bit easier, so we typically meet on the third Monday of every single month at 7 p.m. We decided to move our December meeting to the second Monday of December to accommodate anybody that might be traveling for the holidays. And then lastly, our next meeting will be held on Monday, November the 15th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. We do expect that we will go back to doing in-person meetings. We are hoping will happen starting in the new year. That is our goal. We are hesitant to make sure that we actually fully announce that when we're going to go back in person, because we did that once before and we had a huge Delta surge, and so we had to cancel it. So we are going to continue to make those decisions as we get closer to the new year, but it is our anticipation that we start the new year off right by meeting again in person back at the Marseille Hotel. It's been a great and generous host to us over the last few months pre-pandemic. If there's anything that anybody else has, any questions, comments, concerns? All right, thank you everybody so much for a very wonderful and productive meeting. Check us out on our email, check us out on our social media. Thank you so much for coming. Good night, everybody.
Good night.